Brandon.
And I'm Brandon.
And welcome back to Apollo City Comics, your anything and everything comic book podcast. And we are on part 2 of Kingdom Come. Dude, we didn't realize this was going to be a 2-part episode. I'm not even going to lie. Like,
when I was reading this the other night, I was like, this is a pretty long book.
and like with I've done this book on Apollo before, way back with like my old co-host.
It was like your first 5 episodes, right?
Yeah, I was really excited to do it, and it was just such a shit episode. The dude just did not get it, and it was the stupidest thing in the world. Like, he didn't get why Superman just didn't fly up and stop the bomb, and I was like, fucking read it. Like, it's fucking but it's just like such a captivating book with so many Easter eggs that are within it, and so much lineage, and there's generations of superheroes within this book, from the golden age to the modern age, into like we're going into like the Legion of Superhero stuff that's not too familiar with even on my grounds or anything. And it's just wild. Like, these covers are extraordinary, and it's hard not to stare at the art for just a moment, because this is all painted work. This is modern art, in a very big way. And Alex Ross and Mark Waid just fucking kill it with this story, and where they were going, and the concepts, and how they transformed, and like the history that's brought upon this book. This book is like just dense with DC history and artifacts and all sorts of shit.
But this book became DC history in its own way as well.
Yeah, and it's probably one of the most well-known stories out there, which is weird, because it's weird how like the dystopian future stories always seem to be the most popular and the most like recommended, in a sense. It's really odd. But yeah, that's another aspect of it too. But dude, we'll just dive right in. And luckily, we're doing a 2-part episode, because we've been awake this entire time, because we get our coffee from coffeeandcomic.com, where you can set up a pull list, get bagged and boarded books, and some, maybe some random free stickers in your order, and all the variant covers you could want. So hit up Frank, set up a pull list, and go check out his shop if you're in Orange County. I mean, he has a brick and mortar, so congrats to him on that. And he's doing some cool stuff. He's doing live sales all the time, and then he's been having killer sales on just like books in general. So check out his page and see what you can get discounted, and then use our 15% discount over at the bottom. But we're going to power through these last 2 issues in a good way, Yeah. I think the first 2 are just real dense because we're naming so much that's happening, But this one, oh man, okay, so this is interesting.
Quick question. On your original issues, do you know if it says Elseworld in the top corner?
Yeah, it does.
Okay, so this is still considered an Elseworld book.
Yeah.
Okay, at the time of release, got it. Okay.
Yeah,
I wanted to make sure about that.
The Elseworlds, like we were saying in the last episode too, those were like the multiverse before the multiverse was like essentially defined. So we had, the Mike Mignola, Gotham by Gaslight was an Elseworld. Grant Morrison did something that I forget, that I've never read. That's an Elseworld. That's a Batman story. But all those were Elseworlds. But I miss kind of seeing that little star. And there's some random ass Elseworlds too. There's a lot of tales that came out during this time. There's like an 1850s like Green Lantern one and shit. Like, it's fucking bizarre. Similar to like the Mike Mignola. I feel so bad for not remembering the Brian something. He just passed away too. I feel really bad. The writer for that story. And remember. So okay, real fast. I'm just gonna dip on that. That story was not like their idea. I think the editors in DC had an idea for the story, and Mike Mignola was walking by, and they asked him directly to be like, "Hey, would you draw this, like Batman meets Jack the Ripper?" And it was because of that book got made, because whatever editors pitched that idea, and then they got it written. It wasn't like the writer or Mike Mignola being like, "I have this fucking Batman meets Jack the Ripper." No, that was an editorial decision right there.
Okay.
Wild. I don't know. But anyway, so real fast, right here, the Green Lantern in the center, that is Jade, Alan Scott's daughter.
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, crazy shit. Deadman, Tawny the Tiger. Oh, that's not Tawny, never mind. But we have Blue Beetle. We have the New Kid Flash. I'm sure I can name these because there's like a glossary for them. But
dive in.
Let's do it.
All right, so The
Great
coming of
page.
Shazam.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
Very Jesus-like, you know what I mean? Like very, very
Yeah.
holy right there. We
Basically,
continue.
yeah.
Oh, go for it.
Oh no, I was gonna say basically the book's doing that thing again in the first issue where it's foreshadowing what happens next.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was gonna go with. Um, when you first read this, you don't really expect Shazam to be the villain.
Yeah.
He's but he's kind of not the villain. He's kind of just like a puppet at the same time. He's like the villain that becomes the hero at the end. I mean, I know we're gonna talk spoilers and all that. Obviously, the books existed for so long, but you kind of like you're reading it, you're like, oh shit, Shazam's on his way, and then you realize, oh, that was the guy that Luther was bossing around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy, and it. Oh, here we go. The Legion of the 1970s Gulagog, the Legion of Doom
Yeah,
headquarters. You know what I mean? How cool that he brought that back to be like the prison. You know,
yeah. Well, it's the Gulag.
Gulag. Yeah,
Yeah,
Gulag.
yeah.
I
He
get that.
basically.
And there, what was I forget? Grant Morrison's little timey wimey thing in his JLA run. It was like the Gulagog or some shit like that. The
Oh,
Warlagog. It was the Warlagog. That's what it was. That's what I'm thinking of.
I see.
Yeah. Anyways.
Here's the interesting thing, though. They make it seem like it's a prison, but Superman, as much as he doesn't want it to be a prison, he's trying to make it like just like a rehabilitation center.
Yeah. It's all pretty and shit too.
Yeah, and some of the. Can you name any of these characters?
So I have a little thing right here, a little cheat sheet. Let's see. First side of hall. This is yeah. Okay, so we have Shade 2, Demon Damsel, Nowhere Man, Stealth 2, Phantom of the Fair, um, Tyrant Tula, Jeepers for Mr. Mind's Monster Society of Evil. Black Manta 2 is in here too somewhere. Killer Moth, Shining Knight 2. I think that's the dragon one. Um, Dragon Knight, Blue Devil, Hawk 2, and Dove 3. A Kryptonian armored robot guard, and Ragdoll, the Golden Age Flashfield. Wow, that's some deep cuts.
Yeah, that is some real deep cuts.
Yeah.
But basically, it's exactly what you'd imagine happening. It's like a vacuum of villains or like people who have caused problems, all just like being like kept enclosed together.
These are all like the new characters, basically. You know.
Yeah.
Look at and over here we have. I don't know. Actually, I don't know any of them on this one. Yeah, not even too sure. Is Von Bach on this one? No.
I wouldn't know.
Von Bach is this like real Nazi looking guy. Yeah, it's not this one. I don't got notes on that.
But you have the 666 character, also known as Brian Azzarello, getting pissed at the Superman hologram.
Yeah, for real. Fucking 666. I think that's it. Yeah. It's so hilarious how that came out. Oh, Von Bach. He's the one at the very bottom next to Brian Azzarello on the bottom panel.
Oh, okay. I see him now.
Yeah.
And
Superman's sending like recorded messages. Captain Comet's there to kind of like enforce some stuff and like give him some info. But they're just not for it. You know what I mean? They're
and then they talk about conflict right there.
Mm-hmm. Man, it's cool. Actually, if there's translations for all of that, that's all accurate. Like, I really love when they do shit like that.
I mean, I could get my phone out and just kind of do a Google Translate with like my camera.
I think I have something in this book here that shows you. Yeah, I got some translations for that. It's just them saying like, okay, where am I seeing it? 3 of them. You're heavier than I thought, Von Bach. Don't threaten me, spaceman. Something like that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And so these are like the gods of the quintessence, which is the Phantom Stranger, Shazam, Gantlet, the last guardian of the universe, and High Father, and Zeus. It's kind of rad. I love how like Zeus is still there and Shazam is there, even though Zeus is like the Z in Shazam, you know?
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That does make sense. And then, of course, the best Deadman design ever.
Oh, man, dude. Yeah. He just took it to a whole new level with this. This is like seeing Lee Bermejo's like updated design like this, you know?
Yeah.
This was it until Liebermejo made his new design, basically.
The thing that I always loved about Deadman too is like he's literally just hanging out.
Yeah. Yeah, well, dude, the fucking best line in this, like one of the best lines in this book was it panel 4 over here, where Deadman's like, I always like to travel. And he was
Yeah,
like a circus act, you know what I mean? He's now a dead man traveling through the planes of existence and like stuff. I always like to travel. You know what I mean? Like how fucking you just
yeah.
summed up a whole character in one line, you know?
He's like,
God
I'm just going
damn.
from plane of existence to plane of existence.
Fucking just, yeah, fucking wild, dude. We need more dead man.
We do need more Deadman.
Oh, yeah. It's crazy. They're in front of like the guy, this guy, Norm McKay, is just like, which is also, I don't mean, we didn't mention it last episode, but that's based off of Alex Ross's dad. He combined his
Oh,
name, and it's all the likeness is Alex's Ross's dad.
interesting.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Oh, wow.
Um,
Interesting.
but I was gonna say, Deadman actually, his point here is to talk about like the Spectre's backstory,
Yeah. It's
which
kind
you
of like a
realize no
two-part
one else,
motive.
yeah, like no one really talks about until Deadman showed up.
Yeah, that's true too. We kind of don't get anything on Spectre. You just kind of dropped onto it.
Yeah, and then
Um,
Deadman's like, oh yeah, well, anyways, there you go. A little bit of insight. But the other thing you realize in this book, I think I didn't notice this until reading this part in issue 3, was that it basically becomes like a romance story between Superman and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, they bring that back in a sense. I love
Yeah,
how like he's telling the story about fucking how he defeated Brainiac and was like talking in space. And she's like, "Did Brainiac hear you?" And he's like, "Not in the air of this vacuum of space." Which, okay, I was always thrown off why he was wearing that mask in space. You know what I mean? I was like, it's fucking Superman. Why isn't he need a mask? But he just tells you like it through a story. He explains that you can't hear anyone talk in the airless vacuum of space.
yeah.
So that's why he has the fucking mask so he can fucking speak and they can hear each other. And it wasn't until this reading that I was like, oh, no fucking shit. Like, that's
That makes
brilliant.
total sense. But also,
Yeah.
because of so many iterations, Superman's gone to space without a suit, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, sorry, I was trying to find something in this thing about Norm McKay. But, oh, yeah. So his combination of, his father's middle name and Windsor McKay. Okay, Norman McKay. My bad. I just need to find that out. I forgot where we left off.
We're right here. We're talking about the vacuum of space.
And dude, I love that little ricochet. Like
I know
right
how he
past
like
there.
tosses the rock.
But yeah, it's cool seeing like their little love affair that just like never really fruitioned. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But then how it wraps up at the end, you're just like, this was all about like gods being
But
together. You know?
it's also like it was a moment in the book where it's showing them being vulnerable with each other, just kind of like explaining, like she's explaining how basically she was kicked out of Themyscira.
Yeah, putting on a trial.
Yeah, and like actually like telling Superman what happened.
Man, I love these space drawings, dude. Like
Yeah, they're pretty awesome.
the fucking lasso of truth and everything.
But
Yeah.
I was gonna say in this, you realize she's talking about how like she didn't really follow what Themyscira wanted her to do, but then Superman's just like, look, like you made the right choice,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yep.
you're gonna be the one to pull through. And he's like, you're the one that's gonna keep the peace. We're gonna rely on you.
Yeah.
I think like
Fucking great.
it's a great moment in the book, and then it's followed up with a bunch of death and people dying.
I love that because it's just like the future that Billy like that's the was it Monster Society of Evil that's killing all the Shazam family? That's fucking wild, dude.
It
Like
is.
that's the most that's how you realize that he's under or confirms that he's under mind control by was it Mr. Brain or something like Mr. Mind. Mr. Mind. Fucking
And
wicked.
Lex Luthor's like pulling the strings.
Mm-hmm. And then, of course, because Batman, you just saw him join forces. Of course, Batman has surveillance going on, and he has the little
Yeah, he's
bat
watching
hanging.
everything.
Love that. Always ahead of the game. and then manufacturing all these fucking bat weapons. And I feel like that's Batman just using him too to mass produce a bunch of shit, and get away with it. Tax write off, you know
Basically,
what I mean?
tax
Yeah.
write-off. He's like, I gave you the resources, now build it for me.
But I love how right away, like they're both countering each other. He's like, I didn't know you. You didn't tell me you initiated triple shifts, and he's like, well, you want this made? You know what I mean? Just bullshit like
Yeah,
that, like the businessman aspect.
they both have like different outlooks of how to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
And then, when you look at it, you're like, something does feel off. Like they're not really working together. They're still kind of like, Batman's spying on him for a reason, right?
You know what's crazy though too is that Batman always connects with the youth. Look at he just literally says this his on his side he has the sons and daughters of many of the Leaguers. Batman always captures the rebellious youth and is the one that recruits them and pushes them and
Yeah.
like
He also did that with the Outsiders.
mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
And he's just like all of the Robins and shit. Like he's
Yeah.
always
He
always
stays
getting
relevant.
the kids. Mm-hmm. It's fucking wild. It's really cool how Batman's always just like the cool guy, even as like the oldest, most beat up guy there. Oh, and if you pay attention, both Bruce and his son are wearing the same suit.
They are?
Yep.
Oh, they are.
Yeah.
Oh,
How fucking rad.
that's pretty crazy. And then, of course, you get
I love this because this entire time, you know, we all kind of know that Martian Manhunter is like the strongest like DC character essentially. You know what I mean? Like his
John
powers.
Johns.
Yeah, John Johns is he fucking can do anything and everything and can control shit. He fucking manipulate. He's fucking the shit. You know what I mean? Fucking awesome. But like you're wondering why isn't he helping in this world? But like it's the most tragic fucking story ever. Like he opened his mind to the world and he just fucking broke.
It like shattered his brain.
Yeah. And he's now just jittery and just like
It's too
freaking
much
out
for
all the
him
time.
because he
Like,
tries like you even see it when he tries to like read everybody's minds. He just can't handle it anymore.
just can't do anything. Yeah, like and he just needs to it's so sad. Poor John.
I know, he's just like a
And he
shell
feels
of what he used to
bad.
be.
He wants to do more and he feels like he can, but he just like can't and it's tragic. And yeah, this is just basically like everyone mingling and shit. So
Yeah,
fucking
company party.
fucking Bruce's kid and then fucking Nightwing's kid, fucking talking and shit, of course.
I know, right?
Fucking shit, of course.
Wouldn't that make them technically related though? Because
I mean, step.
not by like blood, but like because you get what I'm saying though, right? Because he calls it his bat family.
Yeah, I mean, there's no blood involved, so
No.
I guess it's all right for them.
And then basically,
I
this is
love
like
this. Like he's just going fucking planet by planet. I guess that's the new Adam or something.
no, he's not doing planet by planet. He's like looking at each like continent.
Yeah, continent.
He's like, all right, this is good. This is good. He's using his supervision basically.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just
Dick
the
is
new
like
Hall
talking in the background, and there's like he can fucking hear you, you know.
it's like the Hall of Justice for them now.
Watchtower.
And then the Watchtower, yeah.
Yeah. I think
What's
this
interesting
is the coolest thing
is the Flash was able to grab him.
I love that because he's vibrating on so many frequencies. He could fucking
Yeah.
detect anything on any sort of spectrum and snags fucking Norman out of like that fucking in between world that he was in for a bit. And imagine
then-
just fucking being in a, you know, how terrified you would be in front of a bunch of gods in space, where it's just like you're who knows, like, you know.
But what's crazy is he goes, guys, the judgment is coming. It's all gonna fall apart, and they're all like, "What are you talking about, old man?"
Yeah, exactly. He's
Yeah.
he's very much the like Rorschach's character in Watchmen, holding the sign, "The end is nigh" kind of character.
Yeah. But what's interesting to me is like I feel like they just could have used Wonder Woman's lasso to like get him to tell the truth or
That's true,
to
too.
verify.
They
Right?
don't use that enough in
They
general.
don't use it, yeah.
But this is where it's just like they're arguing about like war. This is
Yeah.
where
And he's
shit
going
gets
to the
serious.
UN basically.
Go talk to Alex Ross about it all.
I know, there he is. Check it out.
Fucking fucking Alex Ross. It has to be, man. He has to have done that by himself.
And he already looked like that in the 90s.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because he still had like the dark hair and shit.
But
And oh yeah, they're just kind of flying off, and this is where Wonder Woman and Supes are really just trying to like figure out what. I mean, this whole thing is just them having a conversation, just trying to figure out what's the next move and everything.
well, the other thing
Like,
too is that they're trying to explain to him the gulag is not the way to go about it, and he's like, it's a work in progress. It's gonna work, and then basically they just kind of leave.
and that's the thing. Like, Superman's just too trusting still, you know, and that's one
Yeah.
of those big arguments. Like, oh, and of course, like now we have the revelation and the backstabbing and the betrayals and everything between Lex and fucking Bruce. And I love how
Yeah.
fucking he still
And
fucking has the ability just to punch someone in the fucking
I know
face.
he punches Shazam in the face essentially.
Yeah.
But it's interesting because the first time I read this, I was like, okay, Batman's working with them, but something's going on. And then you realize, oh, he's trying to figure out what his trick card was. And it turned out that Luthor had Shazam in his back pocket the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine if they made this into a movie and like no one read the book and saw that? What that would do?
Yeah, that's true.
Oh,
I mean, it would be
yeah.
such a complex thing to make. I mean, I don't know how they could pull it off.
I don't
I
know.
mean, I bet they could if they had Marvel style, like we said, Marvel style budget and actors. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%. Or a TV show. I'm telling you.
yeah. I think that'd be the best.
Yeah, and
four-part
you just
series.
basically see Batman get the jump on him from the inside.
Man, I love how Batman's the one chasing Shazam, and I love that silhouette. Like, it's fucking sick.
I know, right? But it's crazy because then the worms, I thought was interesting that would work.
Oh, well, that's the Shazam villain, Mr. Mind.
Yeah, I wouldn't know that. I've never
Oh,
read
really?
Shazam. Yeah, I don't know anything about Shazam.
Oh, okay, yeah. Mr. Mind is like a fucking worm with like a little fucking thing that has like a
Let me
radio.
see.
Yeah.
Mr. Mind.
Yeah, Mr. Mind. Yeah. That was a Shazam 1 Easter egg that's probably never going to fruition. You know what I mean? At the very end.
What was he in? Oh, he was in the end credits.
Yeah.
Oh,
real
he
briefly.
was. That's right. I remember now.
Yep. Yeah. And then he was also the one of the big villains in the 52 series, but I didn't know who he was when I read that series. So it didn't register with me.
Oh yeah, he really is just a worm.
Yeah, he's literally just a worm.
And yeah, the more you know. Um. So what's crazy though is like, or not crazy. What I thought was hilarious was that like Shazam realizes who he is and he says the word and everybody's like, oh shit.
Yeah.
And you realize it's one of those things. Batman trying to overplan everything backfired.
Oh yeah, it's true too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay, this next scene is really interesting because it kind of, there's some more background info. This is where we first see the fucking amazing Wonder Woman armor that we've all fucking grown to like love and just
Yeah.
fucking adore. And it's wild because like at one point DC and Marvel would always send the creators a couple bucks to fucking be like, hey, we used your likeness or something, from your creation. They would send Mark and Alex some money, but they didn't get shit for Wonder Woman 1984. Not a
They didn't.
single.
Is this the
fucking
first
thing.
time this armor was shown?
Yep. Yeah, this is Alex's
Wow.
creation. Yeah, and
Not surprised.
it's sad. You know what I mean? Like they fucking marketed it on that armor because it was so fucking familiar, and they fucking couldn't give these guys anything. I don't think Alex does anything really for DC anymore.
He does
because of
Marvel
shit.
covers. I mean, he did his Immortal Hulk covers, and he did some Spider-Man covers, but I don't think he has. Yeah, I don't think he's done anything for DC.
I think the Detective Comics 27, but that was like an old recycled artwork. It wasn't even like original, like for that book. I think it's because he's fucking really just pissed at DC for how they've never really done anything for him, but they use so much of his ideas and work all the time.
I can see that.
Yep.
Quick.
I think right now he's doing the Iron Man covers for Marvel at this point too.
He's always been more of like a Spider-Man Marvel fan.
Mm-hmm. His
Yeah.
Captain America covers were good too, and Black Panther.
I mean, all his covers.
You can't fucking, yeah. You would buy a cover just because it's Alex Ross. Yeah.
Exactly. Is this the first time they talk about magic being Superman's weakness?
No, it's always kind of been a
It's
thing.
always been a thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why
okay.
it's so prominent. Yeah.
You know what's funny is they use that in that DC versus Mortal Kombat game. That really shitty fighting game. They're like,
Fuck yeah, dude.
Superman's weak against magic, so everybody could punch him. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I
Yeah,
guess
all right,
so.
fucking all right.
Sure.
Solve that mystery.
But yeah, it's interesting because I was gonna say Wonder Woman's kind of embracing that thing where it's just like, in order to achieve peace, we have to be lethal. And then Superman's like, no, you're better than this. She's like, no, fuck you. I'm gonna go do this.
Yeah, it's just like I don't care what you're saying. Hey, so real fast, you see the Freddy at the bottom corner in that bottom panel as
Yeah, and Elvis.
Yeah, that's the only time I
I was
think
gonna
you ever see
say,
him.
I see now. Okay.
Bullet Man or Bullet Woman 2 or whatever, I guess. 3. Bullet Man 2 also. Fucking wild.
And you got some Wizard of Oz, Zordon, Lex Luthor going on over here.
For reals. Man, that's crazy. Fucking Green Lantern, like with the blood on his head and like calling for help, and now they're just like, we must go to war.
Yeah, then basically the gulag is like imploding on itself with everybody inside.
Mm-hmm.
And then Superman's just like, I'm not gonna fight like this, and people are gonna die. And then that's where you get the big kiss.
It was a kiss completely devoid of passion. It's a final farewell.
Yeah, and then she
Fucking
dips
such a
out.
great shot.
Do you know who this is right here?
That looks like Peacemaker 3 or whatever. Because it's a girl. I know Peacemaker's a girl now.
And then Superman fucking blows a hole in the side. He's like, I'm out.
Dude, and then he just like flies through a satellite too. Like, Soup's like, you're just fucking shit up, dude. Like, everyone's fucking getting sucked out of space now. You know what I mean? Green Lantern's not there to fix it. Oh, it's Green Lantern's fucking base. No wonder. Yeah. Oh, that all makes sense now.
But it's funny because he just goes through the floor in the Batcave. He's like, I need your help.
He's like, fucking help me, Bruce. Right now. And Bruce is like, nah. Nah.
I know, right?
Nah. Fuck you, Clark.
The gulag's ready to blow. And he goes, yes, even as we speak. And it's kind of funny because everybody kind of told Superman it was never a good idea.
Yeah, that's true too. It's kind of funny. I just love how calm Batman is through all this. He's just like, whatever about it, you know?
Yeah, he's just like, look, dude, I already saw this coming. He's like, I got my own plans in motion.
Fucking told you.
But basically another, like, again, when they're at their best is when they're like talking to each other, whether it be conflicting ideals or whatever it may be. Peak Superman and Batman always.
Yeah, hell yeah. And the thing about that too is again, it's like such a calming, respectful thing. Like, yeah, Superman's kind of getting heated and shit, but Bruce is so like, well, I know you're upset, but you didn't look at the fucking wild card. You didn't know about Captain Marvel. You know what I mean? And he was just like, what? Like, oh shit. Like, Bruce still has that information. And even though Superman just busted through his cave and started screaming at him and shit, you know what I mean? Bruce is like, I know something you don't know, and I'm gonna shove it in your face now. For you acting like a jackass, like, here you go.
What sums up their relationship though is right here is basically it doesn't matter if it's a human or superhuman life. It goes against their beliefs, and he's like, that's the one thing we share.
Yeah, hell yeah.
And it's like, boom.
Finding that common connection between like the strongest man in the universe and fucking
the most resourceful man.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, to this day, I know it's iconic, but the way Superman flies is always hilarious to me because he doesn't have to put his hands in front of him.
He doesn't. I don't get that. Like, it is iconic because it's just like his thing. His
full charge, yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But you don't
he
need
can technically
to do that.
fly with his hands at his side.
You should just do that in general. Like, I don't know. I guess he's just used to busting through shit, and so he does that as a safety
He doesn't need a punch of. He can use his forehead still.
That's true too. He's probably be fine. And crack-a-boom and everything. I love how Ragnarok fucking unfolds like that. You know what I mean? There's Dr. Fate fucking looming up top. And this shot right here, this page of Superman flying straight and getting fucking zapped on the side, and then the final page in this book, right here, these were in a Wizard magazine from back when I was a kid, and I've always was like, what the fuck is this? Like, I want to see more of this. And it wasn't until like I was a teenager when I read Kingdom Come, and I was like, this is the shit from when I was like 10 years old reading Wizard magazine. Like, That was the fucking image, and it's always just stuck with me for so long because I was
And
like, "Who the fuck is beating up?" You know, and as a kid, you're like, "Who beats up Superman?" And like,
yeah,
wait, that's
but
Shazam? Like,
it's awesome how they basically compare Shazam to like Ragnarok as the Armageddon of this world.
yeah, and it's
Yeah,
cool
dude.
seeing the Shazam versus fucking Superman fight. You know what I mean? Like,
Was this ever a fight beforehand?
I wouldn't say so. I don't think they did that
So
often.
this is the first time they fought, technically, to our knowledge.
Yeah, to our knowledge, for sure. Yeah.
All right, last issue. Whoop, you can see I already read it.
Um, this is such an interesting like issue because it's we'll get into the fight and there's a big like Alan Moore, like we've seen a lot of Alan Moore homages here, you know, Rorschach was in there, you know, the Watchmen character and shit.
Yeah.
But there's a big fucking Alan Moore explanation with the fight coming up that we'll get into. Um,
Also, keep in mind this is the only issue where it's just Superman by himself on the cover.
oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because everyone's fucking gone. That
And then
fucking
right
and is
there,
revealing everything too, you know, like from the start.
almost like a god and devil fighting in the background as silhouettes.
Yeah, Batman and Wonder Woman
And
and
just some
Superman, Shazam.
typical comic fashion, not in a bad way, but just full on page spreads of just fighting.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So good.
I love seeing Robin in the fucking forefront there. Hell yeah. That shit's great.
Hawkman. You know who he's fighting though?
Shining Knight. Oh, I don't know who Hawkman's fighting, but the fucking dragon thing is Shining Knight from
Dude,
Seven
and then
Soldiers of Victory.
right here, the fight is so fierce they're going into the ground.
Damn, that's fucking brutal, yeah. T'Challa, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
And basically at this point, the book is just like he's the Spectre's like, I can't stop it. He's like, why? I thought you could.
I know it's a thing. You never see Spectre do shit, like, ever. It's kind of like Darth Vader in the movies. You're just like, why are you a good villain? You've never done anything. Like,
Here, I'm gonna look up Spectre powers real quick.
oh, dude, that's such an iconic, like, pose of them fighting right there. And that punch across, like, the page. Ah, that's just skilled artwork, you know?
Okay, are you ready for this for Spectre's abilities?
Do it.
Nigh omnipotence, nigh omnipresence, nigh omniscience, reality warping, time manipulation, matter and energy manipulation, invulnerability, divine empowerment, telekinesis, telepathy. Yeah, telepathy, telepath. Supernatural senses, possession, superhuman strength, stamina, durability, and speed.
Huh. All right.
This motherfucker's existed since More Fun Comics in 1940, and we have yet to see him do any of that shit.
Yeah, I've not fucking, I don't know. Name a series of the Spectre and please we'll read it. You know what I
Prove
mean?
us wrong, yeah. Tell
Yeah.
us.
This is cool. They brought the Blackhawks in. You know what I mean? I always thought that
Yeah.
was dope. Like,
You got Alex Ross right here.
Alex Ross yelling about
Is
everything.
that supposed to be the president? It is, right?
No, that's like a general.
No, that's a general.
General W something.
This is like the UN technically or something, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That bottom panel right there, that's Mark Waid and Paul Dini, and I think the letterer.
I could see Mark Waid, Paul Dini, and then yeah.
No, my bad. It's Mark Waid, Peter Tomasi, and editor Dan Rasper.
Oh shit! I could totally see Tomasi here.
Tomasi, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that now. I could definitely see the Mark Waid. He's always had that same like hair and head and like shape.
Yeah, yeah. I love it. Little ginger look, kind of. And that has to be fucking Alex Ross, dude. Look at that shit.
It's gotta be, dude. Like, just look at that. Can you please, for the thumbnail, just like post a picture of Alex Ross from a story?
Right? Yeah. Just see if they see that. Like, please tell me that's you, dude. Like, that has to be.
Yeah. And I wasn't sure what this is supposed to be about, but I'm guessing it's just that it's stress weighing down on this general guy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he has a family. He had to make a call. Like, you know, it says world's best dad and shit. Like, shit like weighs heavy on him. He's just.
And he's got to call like a nuke strike.
What the fuck, T'Challa? Why?
And Batman comes through.
Hell yeah, with like the dope shot, like, you know what Superman did in the I think issue 2, maybe issue 1, where he was kind of making his comeback and flying down with the League.
And T'Challa got fat.
T'Challa's fat. He
Yeah.
needs to work out more.
He needs to work out more. I like how he just makes his appearance.
Yeah, fucker. He wants attention.
But yeah, so but it's cool because like you get a different cast of characters. You also get it like they're blocking the sunlight out because Batman always has to operate at night.
Yep.
Right. And then basically a giant battle ensues, like
Dude, I love that image of Batman just like fucking
in the flames.
in the flames and shit, using his cape to fucking block him,
Dude,
and it has
who's
that
this
bottom
character?
cowl. Oh, that's okay, so Vigilante 3 or whatever, yeah.
Vigilante, like the one from the Peacemaker show?
No, the one there's from Justice League United, the fucking cowboy guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the original like Vigilante.
Batman's Legion soars in like a silent cavalry.
Yeah, I fucking love that.
Full on people dying.
Oof, Wonder Woman does a fucking killing blow, and Brian Azzarello gets pissed.
He's like, get her. And yeah, it's pretty much. It's funny for a comic that's like very complicated of like what superheroes are. It does end up being kind of like stop the people from killing.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
But I know it's a little bit more layered than that because these are people being held against their free will, but they're kind of like a danger to society. They're kind of killing each other. The superheroes are trying to stop them.
But it all kind of comes down to that,
Yeah.
like boiled down, essentially.
Yeah, and then this is the part where basically Batman's like, you can't kill people, and then homaging or for that foreshadowing from the first issue, Batman and Wonder Woman fighting.
Love it so much. I love how like Bruce is the one that cracks into Diana, like.
Yeah, and he was the one that's like, killing is not the answer.
Yep. And right here, dude. Okay, so this fight, Superman fucking versus Shazam, where they had a fucking Shazam's like, possessed right now. He's not possessed essentially. I think he's kind of like fried out, but he's figuring out. He's very lost, very confused, just not there. He's not the Shazam we know. And what Alex was trying to portray in this is in whatever MiracleMan 15, the big battle between Kid MiracleMan and MiracleMan. Where it's just like the most horrific, just fucking thousands died in London, where Kid MiracleMan ripped them all to shreds in the most gruesome ways. Like, if that would have happened in the DCU, I love how Robin's on the floor right there, being held by Nightstar. Fucking, if that would have had, they were on opposing sides. What he was trying to do is kind of recreate that, but between Superman and Captain Marvel, because Captain Marvel is where the Marvel name all originated from before it went to like Marvel and also Miracle Man, which was was Marvel Man originally, but before they got sued and they had to change it to Miracle Man.
Yeah. Keep in mind, completely random about Miracle Man. Todd McFarlane had the rights to it momentarily.
Yeah, I have a figure from a Spawn Miracle Man little set that they had at one point.
And then Neil Gaiman and Todd McFarlane beefed.
Yeah, those court scenes
just talk
are
about
insane.
that.
I've always wanted to. Yeah, I've heard the transcripts from Cartoonist Kayfabe, and it's fucking wild. It's
crazy. It's
comic book creators trying to explain comics to like lawyers who know fucking jack shit about comics. Yeah.
And then Alan Moore was just in the background at one point.
Yeah, for reals. And it's just like I have a book that covers some of that we'll be covering a lot of Miracle Man this year. So I'll break that out, get some more knowledge on that too. But yeah, this whole Shazam Superman fight is kind of Alex's nod to Marvel Man versus Kid Marvel Man. And I thought that was the coolest fucking thing.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
It's interesting how a lot of like these bronze to modern age comic creators are like fans of Miracle Man.
Yeah. And it's once I discovered that book too, I've been obsessed with it for years, and you can understand why once those of you who haven't read Miracle Man, go fucking read Miracle Man.
Yeah, it's even crazier when you know the story behind it. I read Miracle Man when it came out for its re-release.
It's funny because I was just like 2 years after I read it probably, because I discovered it on some like I torrented a bunch of like Alan Moore comics back in the day and shit. We just torrent comics. And it was part of it, and I was like, "What's Miracle Man?" And I read it. And I read the first issue, and I was like,
yo,
Oh,
what the
this is
fuck is going
fucking
on?
insane. Yeah, and it just fucking
Yeah.
gets wild. But back to Kingdom Come, it's kind of crazy. So my old jackass of a fucking co-host was like, "Why doesn't Superman just go up and like grab the bomb and disable it?" It's like, but then one, you don't have a fucking story, but also there's a moral obligation going on right here. You know, Superman is telling Billy like everything I'm choosing hasn't been right. And I know I'm in the wrong and I don't know what to do. I don't know what's best for the world. I don't know what's best for humanity and I don't know what's best for like meta humans. And you know what, Billy? You are the best of both worlds. You are both human and
Yeah.
a meta human, a
You're
god.
God, and yeah, you're basically man and God.
And so like you need to be the one that decides this and carry this weight on your shoulder because
Yeah.
it's no longer up to me because it's too big of a task for Superman.
Well, the other thing too is, you learn. Do they talk about it here? The Spectre says like, the fate of the world isn't up to Superman because he's not a human technically,
Oh wow, that's
or something like
interesting.
that. I could be
Yeah.
wrong. Let me see.
I don't see it here. Man, it's crazy. It's talking about like how he's
Maybe I.
gripping Billy's jaw and shit. Like,
Oh yeah, he's basically preventing him from saying Shazam,
imagine
which is
that
crazy.
grip on your face.
I know.
Like,
It's crazy though how powerful that lightning is if it's got Superman.
it's magic.
Yeah, like magic. The other thing too, we didn't talk about it. This book explained that the older Superman got, the stronger he got.
Oh yeah. So that's a
Because
great point. Yeah.
the solar race and the sun has caught, because we learned the whole thing is that the yellow sun powers Kryptonians, and that's what makes them have superpowers. And because Superman's been exposed to it for so long, his cells have been growing stronger and stronger, which is interesting considering in All-Star Superman, it's too much when he gets sent to the sun and it causes him to explode and die. But
Yeah. Huh, that's true too.
um I was gonna say, so technically Superman gets stronger the older he gets, according to this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
invulnerability practically at this
Yeah.
point. And
But
oh, and
with the
you're
mat.
right. You're right. And so with the fucking magic bullets hitting him and for him to be kicking his ass when he's like at a pure almost invulnerable state.
Yeah. It's how strong Shazam really is over him. But yeah, it is funny how he's gripping his mouth.
Yeah.
But I believe it's explained. He goes, superhumans or mankind, one will pay the ultimate price, and that decision is not for me to make. I'm not a god, and I am not a man.
Oh wow, I love how that switches
Technically, you
over.
remember, yeah, because technically Superman is Kryptonian, so he's not
Yeah,
human.
it's not yeah. And he's also like not technically like a god. He's a god on Earth, but not like
Yeah, he's just a normal Kryptonian. Which comes back to what you're saying is right here. He goes, Billy, you're both.
fucking let's
And
go and tells him
to
to make a
your
choice.
co-host's point, yes, Superman could have gone and stopped it, but to your point, he was missing the mark where it wasn't Superman's choice to save the world or not.
Yeah, exactly. Like
He's made so many wrong decisions. It's time that someone who is from part of that world.
and when you look at this whole entire book, like every decision Superman's made has kind of been wrong. You know, stepping
Yeah,
away for 10 years, like building the Gugog or whatever the fuck it was called.
Gulag.
Gulag. Um, fucking trying to like reform everybody, like it was everything he's done has led to this. And so he knows that like whatever decision I make, I just don't trust myself
Yeah.
with it. And
The
that's
other
fucking
thing,
insane.
to the point of from a creative writing standpoint, again, Superman is monologuing, and as we all know at this point, monologuing is to kind of, how should I say, release information.
Mm-hmm.
And Superman's letting us know. He's telling us that to save humanity, this choice has to be made someone from of this world.
Yeah. Yeah. Then decide the world. And then seven thunders utter their voices. And bam, fucking Captain Marvel fucking goes up, grabs the bomb, and tries
Shazam's
to
that shit.
fucking Shazams that shit, dude. Fucking tries to fucking stop it. And
Yeah,
okay, also granted, they said in that UN meeting that like one bomb was more than fucking enough. And they're like, well,
yeah.
we're taking three.
Because it's
just
the
to be safe.
superhumans.
And then, dude, you still like, no matter what, this is also going back to the Alan Moore fucking homage, is that when the smoke starts to clear, you see the most horrific fucking thing ever, man. Like, this image stayed with me. So many people fucking died.
Yeah.
Still, you know? And that's all Superman sees. He doesn't fucking see the like remaining survivors or anything. Um, he's just fucking pissed. And of course, Superman is pissed because the humans fucking did this. Fucking UN sent that bomb, and he knows that. And so he fucking chases them out, fucking rushes over to the fucking UN, and he's ready just to fucking just start war. Um, fucking, he's just broken. And it takes, the league can't catch up to him yet because they're fucking just recovering and getting up. Superman, he fucking bolted over there. Look at, there's fucking Alex Ross right there too. Uh, it's totally him.
I
It's
know.
totally fucking him.
But then Norm McKay is the one that's like, you need to realize this isn't who you are. They'll never, because unfortunately, what Superman is, if he were to do this, they'll forever,
Yeah, they'll never forgive him. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doesn't matter what what may have happened. Like, that's still not. He shouldn't be doing that.
And I think this is like, what's the word I'm looking for? Antithesis? No. Well, either way, this is like the big moment for Superman of what makes his character so great, is that he is the one that can make that choice.
Yeah.
And no matter what, he is always the one that will make the moral high ground.
And like, man, it's crazy. It's kind of funny. Like, just so happens the league is the one that survives and shit. And they're like, Superman's shocked. He's like, "There's survivors. Like, how many on each side?" And then Bruce is like, or someone is like, "Enough to not make a difference." There's an equal amount of us still. That's who survived. Look at Dr. Fate, fucking just like
Dude,
floating around like a
he's just
Scooby-Doo
like magic
character in the
essence.
background. Yeah.
Scooby-Doo character.
And so he just fucking, Superman's like, we gotta look better for a better tomorrow and shit.
Yeah. And this is where this is where the big moment happens, where he's like, we will, we're not going to impose our power. We're just going to work with y'all.
Yeah. Finally, in a good sense, like, stop standing above us and stand next to us type of thing.
They have Shazam's cape as like a kind of like a flag of the UN.
I wonder which flag they took down to put that one up.
there had to be one there, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe they took US down. I don't know.
That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
And then,
I love this because look at now Bruce is in white and he has the red symbol. His son is also in white. Like, I know everybody's in white, but like it's like one of those things. Like,
he muddles Shazam next to Luthor.
Yeah, I fucking love that. I love how he's just teasing Luthor the whole time. There's Dick. Dick never dies.
And then also, Dick never dies. Also, Wonder Woman's kind of like redeemed for herself. They realize her choices did make a difference.
Yep.
Everybody's kind of living in peace, and everyone's.
Oh yeah,
together.
fucking look at Green Lantern is on the fucking UN table and shit.
Yeah, with the green cuffs and the ring.
Oh yeah.
And then there's a giant graveyard.
Yeah, Clark has been building it as a monument, and that's the thing. That's when he gets his humanity back. He puts the glasses on and becomes Clark Kent again, and gets his fucking humanity back. That's the thing.
Back
he
to
put
farming.
on the glasses. This entire time we haven't seen Clark with glasses. Even when we found him on the ranch, remember, no glasses, and he's always worn the glasses when he's not Superman. So that's a pivotal moment. Kind of small things that like, create something about you. And then Norma Kay kind of signing off to the Spectre and reminding the Spectre to have some humanity as well. Some love and care, and to like think of other situations and people and things.
I think now, knowing that this is supposed to be Alex Ross's dad, he's kind of like paying respects to his dad, say like, "Hey, Dad, you gave me hope," or something,
Yeah, what a cool
can see that.
And what a great book to put your like pops in and shit. Like.
Yeah.
Those are supposed to be somebody there. I think that's like Joe and Jerry Siegel.
Joe Schuster and Jerry
Yeah,
Siegel.
yeah. I think.
Maybe.
I could be wrong.
Or is it Jerry Schuster? No, it's Joe Schuster. I can't. I always mix up their first and last names.
Oh wait. First sighted Clark Kent. Okay, so real life model of Ellen, the late wife of Norman McKay. Oh, Lynette Ross, very much alive. Thank you. Sitting beside him, Jim Corrigan. Oh yeah, who sits in front of his creator, Jerry Siegel. Oh, okay, so Jerry Siegel is the one that's in there.
Okay.
Yeah. And then this is like the coolest epilogue ever, dude.
This is an interesting epilogue. There's like only one. I love how they kind of talk about that hair from Superman.
Yeah.
But also, it's like, again, these are the moments that are the best. It kind of reminds me of that Tom King Batman issue where they go on that double date at the carnival.
Mm-hmm.
A little different. But overall, you know, they're just kind of hanging out, having food. Everybody's getting the typical. Apparently, Clark Kent drinks milk. Batman drinking coffee is not out of the ordinary, and Wonder Woman with water.
So wait, go back to that page. There's a lot more in that page that's really cool. It's not only the kryptonite in the background, the fake kryptonite, but yeah, zoom in on those characters right there. Dude, that's Bruce Timm and Paul Dini.
I can see Bruce Timm. I know that face.
Yeah. And Paul Dini. Fucking no moustache and shit. Kevin Smith looking guy. King Tut from the 1966 Batman.
The show. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's
fucking
see.
Cool.
But yeah, they're just kind of hanging out, and they're there because they're hiding amongst like the cosplayers. No one's gonna notice them.
Yeah, no one's gonna fucking realize. I love that how like they're all concerned about it, and they're like they wouldn't realize shit. And still, he looks like he has that Vader fucking neck part, you know? Like I love it.
He's more bald too.
Mm-hmm.
What I thought was like a nice little like ending was that they're having a baby, Superman and Wonder Woman.
I like how the beginning of this part, you know, Clark and Diana are just like, no, he doesn't know. Like, it'll be nice to surprise him for once. And he surprises them by, like, you know, calling him out on it. And they surprise him back by asking him to be, like, the godfather.
Yeah. There is one thing, though. Right here, too. It confirms it. He says, an ageless Amazon of your perfect physique. You put on a pound or two.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah. So that does confirm that she doesn't age.
Yeah, immortal. Fucking insane. That's fucking insane.
But yeah, it's interesting that this is a Superman book, but the legacy of Superman, they want to be shaped by Batman because they believe he's like a good balance of like the two of them. Is that what they say? Yeah.
Fucking great. Yeah, it's fucking great. I mean, again, you get Batman with the youth. Again, this is just like the prime example right there.
And it's just the only thing that I find awkward is that a child is Superman, Wonder Woman, and Batman. And it's just like the way they describe it. It's like they want Batman to be like another father or like part of the relationship.
Exactly. I got the same vibe from that too. Like I get the point what they're saying, but still.
Yeah.
You know, what's crazy too is that, you know, we started the story with Wesley Dodds, Sandman, and it ends with his fucking armor hanging on the wall.
Oh yeah, it's right there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know who this is supposed to be?
Oh, that's Spectre.
It is Spectre, huh?
Yeah. He's in the.
That's the Spectre's platter. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're just hanging out.
Oh, and next to him, fucking cool little Easter egg is the reporter from Alex Ross's series Marvels. The one that it's, you know, the photographer journalist that's following all the superheroes around in Marvels.
Yeah.
That's him right there.
Oh, nice. Any idea who this guy is?
I wonder if that's just a dude. Let me see if there's anything.
You like this right here though?
Maisie Man's helmet. Yeah, fun comics and everything. Apparently, there's Sergeant Rock's helmet in the background right there. Panel 3.
Oh, I see it. Yeah.
Yeah. And right there, yeah, that's fucking sick.
There it is,
dude. It's fucking crazy. Like that's a dense fucking book. You know what I mean?
The battery to my tablet went down by like 40%.
It was fucking like a 3-hour episode just on that, and it's just because it's so dense and it's so fucking so much. But it's great.
It's a good read.
Most in-depth coverage on a book I think we've done on 4 issues than we've ever done.
Yeah, it's a lot to go over.
It really is. Glad we knocked it all out though, to be
Yeah.
honest.
No,
Like,
I'm glad we finally did it. It's definitely one of the best comics of the '90s, if not one of the best story arcs to ever read.
mm-hmm.
Um, we talked about this beforehand, but to me, what the book overall is about is kind of when you look up Kingdom Come on like Google, the meaning is like the new world, right?
Yeah.
But I think I told you this. The way I perceive the story is that the new world is like those young superheroes that don't know what they're doing, and that's like people realizing that's the world they live in, and then Superman going, "No, the new world is actually the old world coming back," and then you realize the new world is the superheroes working in tandem with humanity.
Fucking epic. Just fucking epic. That's exhausting too. We did a lot of recording today. Man, so we will bounce off of some stuff related to Kingdom Come a whole lot this year. We want to dip into some Miller, like even some Dark Knight Return stuff, which we said we never do, but you kind of have to just for fun. Um, and also some Miracle Man coverage. Uh, who knows what else? Because there's so much that connects to this book, because there's so much history in it. Maybe we'll even do some short follow-ups on like the Kingdom and Thy Kingdom Come or something, or at least like a quick like touch base on them, because they're
Yeah,
it's kind of long. But I'm sure it's on the DC app too. But I have some of Thy Kingdom issues as well. There's some interesting ones. The Plastic Man one is really fucking insane, actually.
I gotta check that out.
Or I think it's Plastic Man. I gotta check that out. But there's one on Batman's son and everything too, which is fucking insane. But yeah, that all kind of picks up and continues for a bit in small increments. So there are sequels to Kingdom Come, and a lot of people don't realize that either. And Mark Waid and Alex were kind of part of a lot of that too. But yeah, well, we have an interview with coming up next, and then we also have probably some comic book stuff after that, some single issue
Yeah,
work that we're going to be doing. So that'll be pretty fun.
yeah. Back to our roots of comics.
Yeah, we've really been craving to read and talk about some comics and shit. So
For real.
glad
It's
that
been a
we're
minute.
back at this. Well, that's all I have to say about it. Got 3 hours worth.
It's a good book. It's worth reading. Go check it out, everybody.
Hell yeah. Thanks for hanging,
All right.
man.
Thanks for having me.